Hi, this is Henry Lee from BlueHeronArts.com. I have another custom request, a signature name chop. This time I do not need to have the reference books as I would do with the ancient scripts. Today I got this signature from email. The client sent this copy to me in digital format. So you can design your own picture as long as it's black and white and as close to the ancient seal requirement. I will do that for you. So don't have to be Chinese characters. It could be Japanese, it could be kanji, or even English, as long as you have a design similar to the Chinese seal. So I have transferred the image with a marker pen onto the stone that he chose. So it's a small soapstone. Since this is a hand carving, so I will try to follow the original drawing or writing, but it's very hard to be 100%. That's the characteristic of the seal engraving art. So it's not copyable when it's done. There are lots of accidents. I hope those accidents will be happy ones. So I'll usually start from the margin, so I get familiar with the stone. Each stone has a little difference in terms of hardness and the texture, you know. Could be crisp or soft. This is a show-shine stone. It's very crispy, good for the effect, the hand kind of. So I'm going to use mostly the cutting and the movement to get the straight lines. As I mentioned last time, the margin or the frame is not 100% square, but it's more like the old TV set, you know, the TV monitor or computer monitor or TV screen with a little curve, but not perfectly straight. Okay, now I'm going to work on the circle. It's kind of hard to make it very round. Again, it's a hand carving, so I'll try my best. But you know, the circle is like Zen calligraphy. It's the mind image. The roundness is in the mind, but not necessarily the visible effect, but more the balance, you know. So I leave room for later modification. I don't want to destroy, you know, in the beginning, I leave room for we can cut a little bit larger than expected, then we can polish it. I changed it into a smaller knife for more detailed work inside. Or you can use it for polishing. The stones are not even. Sometimes it got sand in it. When you hit a sand, you go around it or just cut it like that. So usually you can when it's smooth, soft, you can cut like that. But if you reach some hard sand, you can kind of go over it like that. Okay, let's do the inside now. When I cut a curve, I turn the stone like that, not just the knife. So a combination of movement of stone and also sometimes the knife. So this lines also with some subtle curve. I try to maintain that in the signature. Now the fun part. I will knock the edge to create a rough edge effect. You can also use the knife to create the this antique look, but it's much natural just to knock it, as traditionally the master seal does. But the drawback is sometimes you overdo it, but you have to go with the natural accident. But like if you try to exactly to create a brick, you have to carve it. So I have some nice one here. Okay, we can take we can use a brush or just paper towel to clean the debris, and then we try to make a stand. This is the red ink we use. Usually the positive or the yan style seal, you don't have to press that hard. There are still lots of detail need to polish. As you can see, this simple design may not be easy work. There's still lots of artistic quality to the lines and the composition. So the less stroke, the more difficult sometimes. The less of the design element, the more difficult. Okay, let's polish some. I think the head part is too heavy. I'm going to knock a little more. I got a big chip there. Well, I have just broken too much the frame, so I need to make it up. So the only way I can make it up is to erase a layer of to sand it, so you bring it back. So you don't have to sand the complete work. So we just do like a half. Let's see what happens. Now you can see I have reduced, undo 50% of the work with the sanding. So I undo about half of the work. I have to repeat that. I think the best is to darken the stone at this time, so you can see the strokes. Let it dry. Okay, now it's black. When I carve, it will become white, so I can see better. This is where I chipped, now it come back, so no problem. I think it gives a more antique look after I erase it, so I try to keep that feeling. It's more natural to me than the first time. Then we can erase and come back over and over again until we are satisfied. So more careful this time with the margin or the frame. I just use the knife instead of knocking. I just cut, modify it. Okay, I think the customer like the margin be thicker than the stroke, so I'm going to leave that fitting. So you can see the, okay, let me make another copy and compare. Okay, I'm going to make another copy next to this one. So the copy, from copy to copy, could be very different. If we put a magazine underneath instead of the felt, it will look thinner. So let's just do directly on the table, see what happens. You cannot do it sometimes. Right. Sideways. So I have to put something underneath it, because the stone is hard. Okay, now I have a magazine underneath it, and the press relatively lighter. And lift carefully. I think this part didn't get the ink. You have to kind of make sure all the margins are printed. Very good. Okay, so the way you make a print is like this. You choose the position carefully and then slowly touch the paper, and then press really hard and do kind of little wave, but not too much. Make sure the margin is printed. So if you put a soft padding underneath, you will get a perfect print like this. If you put harder padding, you may not get to 100%. Some part is missing because the face of the stem is not perfectly flat. So I'm going to erase a little bit to make it even. And you have to put even pressure, and I would erase a little more on the left hand side. You go like circular movement instead of one direction. You go all the directions. Okay. You don't have to be perfect. I think it's natural to have a little bit curve. So padding is always needed. As you can see, it could go back and forth many times until you reach satisfaction result. Okay, let me darken that so you can see better. Actually, I should make a stamp so I know where I am better. Let me just deepen the background first. So basically I just make the background deeper. I keep the effect we already have. Okay, now I'm going to see what it looks like now. So I put on soft padding again first. Okay. But not pressed too hard. Shaking a little bit helps, and then lift slowly. Looks very close to the original, doesn't it? So we need to okay, now we have another stamp. Oops. Done. Okay, now we have a very good stem now. As you can see, it took a lot of time to go back and forth, erase and carving to reach this final effect, which is a very natural and antique look as preferred by the customer. So it's not, like a handwriting with the sharp kind of corners all rounded, very kind of eroded over the edges. That's the antiquity style that I like as an archaeologist. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much. If you like to have your own lamb chop designed and carved, please do. You can always send me your design and I'll give you the answer if I can carve it or not. Be creative and have fun. Thank you. Goodbye.